I was gonna just walk down here, but the energy in the room, we need to, I take this program all across the country. We speak in front of 600, 700 people. This is a small crowd. We speak in front of teams. Aaron was talking about the program. The program is just not this. This is just a piece of what we do. We go to schools, we implement a whole program where we're there throughout the year. We have motivational speaking assemblies. We do mentorships. We have ACTs, seminar preps, anti-bullying, social media practices, how to do your social media where you can brand yourself instead of being in a negative light in regards to what you have on your phone and how you use your phone and social media. So it's a program that we provide, okay? So it's just not just a speaking assembly that we do. So my name is Troy Tuck. Grew up here in Cincinnati, went to Moeller High School, was all-state in football, played football at Youngstown State for Jim Tressel. Used to be the head coach at Ohio State. I coached it, Youngstown State for him, so All-American in football. Sports changed my life. So when I came back and moved back to Cincinnati, just thought about ways of how I could help youth. I'm in medical device sales. Okay, it was a young lady who, this one right here, you pulled up. I had hospital scrubs on when you pulled up. You kind of pulled up next beside me, and I was changing clothes while I was in the car. I wear scrubs to work. I work with doctors every day. But my passion is youth and giving back to you guys, because sports for me is a microcosm of life. And what I mean by that is everything I learned from playing sports, I've transferred that into my life, and it's made me a better person. The ups, the downs, hard work, dedication, how to be coachable, how to listen to instructions, how to fall down 7 times, stand up 8 times. These are all principles that you guys learn from playing sports. Some of you don't even know what you're learning on a daily basis. These things are, as Aaron said, are transferable. They relate to you in life. I say as a microcosm of life, okay? And that's why sports are so important. That's why they mean something. So we work with student athletes all across the country. Last year we worked with 30 high schools that implemented our program. This year we'll be working with 40. So when I talk about this program and the importance of sports, I'm passionate about all youth, but specifically student athletes, because I'm a former student athlete. Played the game forever changed me. I've been all across the country because of sports. Some of the best friends I have now because of sports, played with. And what I do now, even in my professional life, that was instilled from playing sports, okay? So what I'm gonna talk to you about just briefly, because I like to hold your attention and I don't like to waste time. These programs, we do these assemblies in 45 minutes, they're out, because I want you to learn at least something that you can implement that I'll talk to you about, because I've experienced it, okay, that you can incorporate in your life. I think there's 2 ways you can learn. 2 ways. There's many ways you can learn, but there's 2 ways you can learn, either from people who've done it, okay, or are at the place that you want to get to in life, okay, or from people who've made mistakes and you learn from their mistakes. 2 of the most important ways you can learn, okay? So when I bring in speakers, I have speakers from all over Cincinnati from different sports, and we do assemblies. I have former athletes come up and I have them give their story and their testimony. And they tell you guys about what they did was positive or negative, some of the pitfalls they had, and how you can either learn from them and benefit from them, or learn from some of their mistakes. Okay, so the first story I just want to tell you is that, who knows who Pablo Picasso is? You know the name Pablo Picasso? Smart crew, okay? Spanish sculptor, you know who he is? Okay, so there's a story about Pablo Picasso sitting outside a cafe, okay? And a lady comes up, she recognizes who he is, okay? And she says, can you do a lifelike still painting picture of me? He said, of course. Do you know who I am? I'm Pablo Picasso. That's what I do. I'm a Spanish sculptor, painter. So she sat down and he just sculpted something, and it took 30 seconds. Okay? And after 30 seconds, he handed it to her, and it looked lifelike. It was just the perfect image of what she looked like. And he said, that'll be $30,000. So she looks at him and says, that took 30 seconds for you to do that. Why would that be $30,000? And his response to her was, no, it took 30 years to be able to do that in 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? It take 30 years to be able to do that in 30 seconds. So what he was saying to her is that there was a process to be able to do what he did right there. She wasn't standing there. So what I'm telling you is that there's things that you do in your life that nobody sees, right? There's work that you put in as student athletes. We talk to all youth, but I'm talking to student athletes. So there's work that some of you put in when nobody's watching. Okay, we call that the glacier work, right? We know what glaciers are. You have the thing above the water, you have the thing below the surface, right? And all the things below the surface you don't see, and all the things above the surface you see. So visually, I see who you are. I see what you display to people. I see a little bit of your character. And then that glacier is what's underneath the surface. What that Pablo Picasso was talking about, the work that he put in to be able to make that picture in 30 seconds, that's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you who you are. And that's what you guys have to focus on. So when we talk about the principles of game plan, I always start off with the Pablo Picasso story, because that in essence are the steps. That's the work that you have to put in to be successful in life. All right? It's the work when nobody is watching, when nobody's there holding your hand, when nobody's telling you to get up in the morning, when nobody's asking you to run an extra lap or lift the extra weight or study a little bit longer than anybody else to get to where you want to go. That is what separates the good from the great, or the average to the below average. And those are the things you need to think about. So when we go into schools, we talk to them about game plan. And there's some specific principles that you need to incorporate in your life that I believe are required of you to be successful. Okay? You may think different. Some of your experiences in life may take you in directions and make you, but these are the principles that when we go all across the country, we did 100 assemblies last year, over 30 schools, this is what we talked to them about. So the first of the matters, we talk about goals. And it's the G in the word game plans. The G in the word game plan, goals. Okay? And we always talk about the importance of goals. The importance of goals and what you can do with that. Your goals, setting goals in your life is like the foundation of a home. It's like the strong foundation of any building. Okay? When you set a goal, that sets the foundation for everything in life. Okay? Short-term and long-term goals. What did it look like? What did it happen when I attain those goals? Okay? I challenge you guys. To incorporate some of these things. First, a short-term goal. Short in length. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks in length. Okay? And long-term goals. But more importantly, what do you do when you obtain those goals? Set more goals. You know, I'm 40 years old now. I've accomplished a lot personally and professionally. I'm always setting goals for myself. I would challenge you guys to be a goal-oriented person. Set short-term and set long-term goals. Okay? The next thing is attitude. And I was told by one of my mentors long ago, he said that a negative attitude is like having a flat tire on a beautiful car. Insert the car that you want and only have to put 3 tires on it and see how far you go. That's what a negative attitude will do for you. That's what a negative attitude will do for you in life. Okay, so I challenge you to have a positive attitude. Attitude is important. Motivation, being a motivated individual. We talk constantly about being motivated and the importance of motivation. What your motivation is completely different than probably his. Or what motivates me might be different to you, and vice versa between the two of you sitting right there. What motivates you? What wakes you? Motivation essentially should get you up in the morning and should keep you up at night. Truly. If you're really a motivated individual, those are things that you constantly think about when you can't turn your mind off, that you're thinking about them, you're constantly thinking about something that you want to accomplish, goals, okay, and things you want to do. For this program, we started a year ago. I had a number of schools I wanted to talk to, a number of cities I wanted to go to, and I wanted to do this and build a program. So this was my motivation, and this is what kept me up at night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I had to work the next day. And this is the first thing that woke me up in the morning, thinking about the next school I wanted to get to, the program we were going to implement, what speakers I was going to bring into schools, where we were going to take the program, what we were going to do. Motivation should wake you up in the morning, and it should keep you up at night. And if you aren't motivated, okay, if you aren't a motivated individual, you need to find out what motivates you, okay? Establishing yourself individually. Be an established individual, okay? A leader, stepping out in front of the forefront, just like Aaron talked about. Leadership is key. Leadership doesn't mean being the star on the team, but it means having the perfect attitude, okay? Or what perceives to be a perfect attitude as far as leadership and accountability, okay? Be a leader. Establish yourself individually, okay? Establish yourself individually. We talk about passion. Being a passionate and prepared individual. Passion is very, very important, okay? Do not forget about the passion. What's passionate? What's the motivation and the passion behind the things you do? Leadership, accountability, and next level thinking, okay? And that's what makes up game plan, okay? But I wanted to focus with you guys on goal setting. I want to focus on the importance of goal setting and setting a short-term and long-term goal. So my challenge for you guys is this. Okay, we have a challenge on Instagram. It's at The Real Game Plan. You look on there. We set challenges for you as far as your attitude and what you should do, or goal setting and what you do. And we ask you to post your things. We send T-shirts out and things that you win for being a part of this. Okay, we have over 6,000 students that are part of our Instagram challenge page. Okay, that we're getting on. So you get on there and you look at what the goal is for the day. What's the short-term goal? Short in length. Okay, 2, 3 weeks, a month, and improvement on that. Okay? And then set yourself a long-term goal. Okay? I'm going to leave you with one thing. We think about birds in the essence of a bird, and usually we think about birds flying, right? We think about birds in the air. We think about that's what a bird is, right? But think of it this way. A bird essentially can go through life just on the ground, just by walking. The 2 legs, right? Most of the time when birds accomplish that, when they do something as far as eating or anything, they do it when they come down to the ground, right? Okay? But what makes a bird a bird? Anybody? Say it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. What makes a bird is the ability to fly. Okay? And that's what game plan, that's what goals, that's what sports, that's what having a proper attitude, that's what leadership, that's what accountability, that's what next level thinking, that's what we're trying to instill in you guys. That's the difference between good and great, or below average or average, or taking the next step in your life, where I'm not a starter and I want to be a starter, or I want to be a leader in the community, or whatever it may be, is the ability to take the next step from going from here and just walking around life. Because a bird can be a bird just by walking around on 2 feet, right? A bird can be a bird just by walking around and accomplish most of everything it wants to accomplish. But what makes a bird is his ability to soar and reach new heights. And that's what we talked to you guys about, is reaching new heights. So we bring the program into your school. That's what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on all the importance and hitting all these points of game plan, okay? Goals, attitude, motivation, preparation, leadership, accountability, next level thinking. That's the game plan, and that's what we talk about. And the purpose of that is to get you guys to soar and not to be down here the rest of your life, okay? So it's just a short presentation for you guys. Hopefully you guys are going to bring us in throughout the year. We do ACT prep, as I said, we do social media. We send you guys to our social media for challenges, but the goal of game plan is to take you guys from here, and by the time you finish, be at this level as far as the way you think, the way you act, and the way you perceive yourself, and the way you perceive how sports can change your life. All right? Thank you.